Welcome to the X Corner. I'm here adding that mutation to the Superhero Crew. I'll be covering the X comics for the week of May 29th, 2019. This week we have 4 comics. Age of X-Man X-Tremists number 4, Major X number 4, Marvel Comics Presents number 5, and X-23 number 12. Spoilers, of course. We'll start with Age of X-Man X-Tremists number 4, written by Lee Williams, art by Georges Gianti. We begin this issue with Northstar seeing how Blob and Psylocke are acting, and he's getting suspicious. But we then get to the office next day to find Moneta back. She's been mind-wiped, and not for the first time. As the team get the missions and split up, Northstar goes off on his own, and we see Iceman go after him, leaving Moneta alone, and she definitely is not okay. Northstar rushed off because the place the X-Corps are checking out is a theater run by Richter that Northstar hangs out in. Iceman finds him there, and instead of rumbling the place, Richter invites them to get drunk, and they talk about what's eating up Northstar. He's haunted by someone he cannot remember, someone he loved. He confides in Iceman, but is interrupted by Jubilee in the streets burning the place down. She says she just remembered she had a son and is pissed. Northstar suddenly remembers his husband, and now he's pissed that their memories were messed with. Richter, Northstar, and Iceman join Jubilee to find out what's going on. This was a really good issue, because it kept setting up expectations and subverting them, and not in an annoying way. We've seen Northstar as an aloof, straight-edged member of X-Corps, so when he sees the way Psylocke and Blob are acting, we assume he's going to rat on them. But we find out he too is having issues remembering and having loved someone. That's why he's so angry all the time. It's eating away at him. Also, when all the gay characters in the X-Men suddenly show up and start reenacting an episode of Queer as Folk, I got bad vibes. Since I praised the book for not calling out these characters' sexual preferences and just treating them like anyone else. The sort of flirting Iceman kept trying with Northstar was cute, but I too remembered Northstar was happily married, so I definitely didn't want them to hook up. But that was the whole deal with him, since he too knew he had someone else, but couldn't remember. Really well done. Is there an actual story in this miniseries yet? Well, no, it's still just meandering, but at least we got a good character study. I guess the whole spontaneous remembering of everyone will be covered in a different book. But overall, this was a good issue. 7.5 out of 10. It does make me wish that any consequences of these books won't be erased by the reboot, because Iceman and Northstar being friends would be cool to see back in the real world, and Psylocke and Blob's relationship would be really quite interesting. Oh well. Then there's Major X number 4, written by Rob Liefeld, art by Brent Peoples. We start with a flashback telling us why the Atlanteans are such dicks, and why they want the Extential. That name. It seems the fake reality where they all went is breaking down and the oceans are poisoning the Atlanteans and they want to be sent back to the real world. The Extential says that is impossible, but they don't seem to take no for an answer. Back in the real world, Major X and McCoy are captured by Dreadpool. The bad guys are going to give them to the Atlanteans, but the Atlanteans really want the Extentials working with the bad guys. They fight, Major X and Dreadpool end up on the same side for a bit. That doesn't last as he wants the Extential too. Dreadpool destroys Major X's time travel device, so they're stuck in the past. McCoy and Major X are teleported over there by Extential, and Dreadpool is hired by the Atlanteans. The good guys end up in Genosha in front of some Sentinels. Another chaotic issue. I give them this much, they are capturing the 90s feel of a comic. The only plot is unintelligible, and every 2 seconds there's a fight. To say that I'm not enjoying the miniseries would be an understatement. There are only 2 more issues, and even now I'm trying not to cut my losses and drop it. But I'll stay on for you loyal listeners to finish this, story. 5 out of 10, just because they at least gave the bad guys some motives now. Then there's Marvel Comics Presents number 5, with a Wolverine story written by Charles Soule and with art by Dio Neves, and a Nightcrawler one written by Chris Claremont with art by Luke Ross. This one last week, but I just got it, so I'll slot it in here. There are actually 2 X-Men stories in this one. The first is the continuation of the Wolverine story, and we've made it to the 80s and the X-Men years. Wolverine is doing all his adventures with the X-Men, but also waiting for the day the Truth Demon comes back. He doesn't know what to do since Sylvia's gone, so he goes and asks Dr. Strange. He says that Wolverine should go find Sylvie's family and see if they know anything. He tracks him down, but Sylvie's aunt isn't happy that Wolverine failed to protect her, so she wipes his memory and sends him to Australia. Wolverine's healing factor kicks in, and he starts to sort of remember. He also got a scent of someone at the witch's place. The other story is a Nightcrawler tale set in the time of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Nightcrawler finds Destiny following him, but she acts like he is her long-lost son. Before Nightcrawler can find out more, Sabretooth rushes in, hunting Destiny. Nightcrawler and Sabretooth fight, and when all looks lost, Kitty shows up and phases Sabretooth half into the wall. He breaks out and smashes down the Berlin Wall. The X-Men by then have escaped, and we find out that this was all during the Excalibur cross-time caper, where the team was traveling through different dimensions. Nightcrawler is confused about how Destiny acted towards him, but Kitty says it's a different reality, and who knows what went on here. The Wolverine story was good, and I loved the first shot of Wolverine in the sewers from the single best Wolverine X-Men issue, when we first find out how cool he is when he went against the Hellfire Club alone. Then there's a few great pages showing all the years in important X-Men storylines, and I loved it. Him going for help from Doctor Strange was fun too, even if the Sorcerer Supreme was ultimately useless. The Nightcrawler part really confused me at first, and having Sabretooth tear down the Berlin Wall felt a little insensitive to what really happened. Since it all turned out to be an alternate reality, that was fine. Ultimately, it was a nothing story, even if written by Claremont. I liked the use of the cross-time caper, but really it was an excuse for Nightcrawler to fight Sabretooth. It was a great fight, as Nightcrawler teleported Sabretooth into a minefield and then dropped a truck on him, only for it to barely slow Sabretooth down. Both these stories are fine, but the Wolverine one's filler between real fights and Nightcrawler's was a throwaway. 7 out of 10 just for the 80s X-Men montage, though. Lastly, we have X-23 number 12, written by Mariko Tamaki, art by Diego Olotegu. Gabby has run away and Laura feels guilty, but Gabby calls not for help. Gabby is attacking a train and Laura rushes off to help. Once they deal with the train guards, we find out Gabby was trying to save some genetically modified X-23 DNA turkeys. Gabby can't get them off the train, so she goes to stop it, but is attacked by a giant claw. We destroy the claw and find the train is set to self-destruct. This reminds Gabby of her guilt letting the cyberclone self-destruct. The two jump off the train as it explodes, and you'd think all those X-turkeys would be crispy fried, but nope. Turns out they can fly and are immune to fire. They take the turkeys to a mutant farm where they will live out their lives. Not like they have much to fear, since they literally cannot be cooked. Gabby and Laura have a heart-to-heart talk, and Laura apologizes for not asking what Gabby wanted from their mission. Laura wants to stop the use of her DNA, and Gabby says that along the way, if they can save as many clones as possible, that will be her mission. Gabby also honors the cyberclone, who had Tux written on her armor, as she renames herself Scout, which is Tux backward. And thus ends the series, I believe. I'm so glad they didn't kill off Gabby, and even gave her a better codename that I might actually use. Honey Badger was a great joke, but no superhero name. It's also good to see the whole series wasn't even about X-23, but it was really Gabby's story. Will Scout survive the upcoming reboot purge? Who knows, but at least we got a good 12-issue run here. 8 out of 10. Not a bad week, really. Let's hope we can end this era on a strong note as we go into maybe the last month of X titles before the reboot. Who knows with scheduling and delays. Major X at the very least will stray into the reboot, but no one cares about that mini anyways. We'll see you next week with some more X goodness.